onion transplant day. Let's get to it. So I am down in number 4. This greenhouse is not heated. I'm going to plant all my onions on this side bed. I'll do this side bed and the far side bed, which are the same width. They're about, I don't know, I'd say maybe 1.5 feet wide, and the whole length of the greenhouse, which is 70 feet. In the center, I was going to put my onions, and I was going to put my beets originally on the outsides, but because this isn't heated, the onions can withstand more cold than the beets. So when I transplant my beets, I'm going to put them into this center bed. And we have some radish started where you can see the dark soil, it's wet, seeded at the front. So what's going to happen is, as we harvest the onions and beets and radish in this greenhouse, we're not going to replant. The other greenhouses are going up down in the field where we lost the one greenhouse, for those of you who know. And then as we harvest here, we're going to be planting our big tomatoes. So with one less greenhouse, which was 120 by 30, that's the one we lost, the high tunnel, it really made planning a little bit of a chore, because everything has changed. So anyhow, let's get on with the onions. I'll do this very quickly just to show you how we do it. So it literally went from winter to summer overnight. As you can see, I have the roll-ups up on this side of the greenhouse just to keep myself a little cooler and the onions a little cooler as I plant. So what I've done is I've soaked the beds ahead of time. We do have drip tape in our beds. Once your bed is soaked, when you run the drip tape each day, that's going to keep the moisture in. But I just like to make sure that it's nice and soaked ahead of time. So we've soaked them ahead of time, and now we're going to get planting, and I'll show you what we do. Okay, first thing I do is I take my onions and I just grab them. I do this before I plant because it's a lot easier. So I just grab a bunch like this and I cut them. Cut that off, and then I just throw that into a bucket. And I just continue doing that. I don't know, I've left them about 2.5 inches, I guess. Just don't go down too far, but this will promote the growth of the bulb of the onion. And they smell so beautiful when you cut them. You can also dehydrate these, which we do, and use them, or you can toss them into your compost, whatever. Anyhow, I'm just going to continue doing this, and then I'll be right back to show you what else we do. So there we go. I've got them all trimmed up. They're a lot easier to handle this way as well. So this is what I do. I just pull it right out of the flat that I've been growing in. I'm going to do these about 2 inches, 1.5 inches, 2 inches apart. And when you plant your onion, just hoping you can see this. Let's start from here. I just kind of make like a little trough with my finger, and like that. So just in, you can go, break that off. You can go like to the top of a green onion, to the top of the white of a green onion, the bulb. And I mean, you don't have to be precise about it. You just don't want to go down too super deep. And that's all we do. I take my whole bunch, and we all know Patty is not gentle, and I just rip off the ends of the onions. And I continue planting. So it seems like it takes a while. It's actually very therapeutic doing this, because you can just plant and think, and nobody's talking to you while you do this. And it's just great. I mean, if you have a couple people doing it, it goes a lot faster, but this is very enjoyable. I find it very enjoyable. Some people might not have the patience, but really it does not take long. You can direct seed if you want. but then you're thinning your onions, because when you direct seed, you get maybe not that close, but you do get close like that, and you have to separate them. So this, like I said, will take really no time at all, and I'll show you when I'm all done. If you want to see the video of when I seeded the onion, it's actually, I'll put the link to that one in the description below. And these seeds came from Johnny's Seeds, and they are called White Spear Bunching Onions. All right, so I've got my first tray finished, and that was about 1,000 of them. So I have another 1,000 to do. I'm going to do around 2,000 a week. So in this bed, this 70-foot bed, which is around 1.5 feet wide, we'll get around 5 and a bit thousand per bed. So I have the 2 outer edges, which will be onions, but for now I'm just going to concentrate on this bed. And what I did was give it a good watering afterwards with the shower setting. And because once you're working the soil, it tends to dry fast at the top. So I just gave it another soaking down with that, and these onions will perk right up. I'll show them to you in another few days once they start perking and just show you exactly what I mean. So remember this, your onions are ready when they start to form a bulb. Then you cut, I don't know, 2 inches, 3 inches, just not super short. Cut them, take them out. That one's low, so I'll pull that. Take them out, and I just do this. Like I said, Patty is not easy on the plants, and they do well still. Like that, and then plant them in. And you want to make sure that you plant them in to about the top of the bulb. And I mean, you don't have to. If you go a little bit further, that's fine. If you go a little bit lower, that's fine. Don't be super picky, and just plunk them in. My favorite word, plunk them in. So that's it. Hope that helped with those of you who are wondering how we do it. There are a lot of videos out there with people that do it a little bit different. Generally, it's all pretty much the same. Most people aren't rough like I am with my plants, but they do fine. And with everything we have to do around here, I don't have time to be very, very careful, and they do fine. Like I said, they're fine. They're fine. So anyhow, this gave me a good chance to talk to myself. It's a beautiful day, and I'm just going to putter away. And my next video will be on how I transplant the beets, and that's even easier than this. So there's no root trimming or any trimming at all. It's just popping them into the ground. So I'm going to prep that bed after I'm done the onions, and that'll be my next video. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.